This month I was supposed to build my Forge Fiend and failed, but we did have Christmas, so let's talk about that instead. Last month for my birthday I got a Forge Fiend, and I was planning on using that this month for my video, but then I got really ill. A few months ago I got really ill, and it made it hard to make videos, and then this time I got iller than I have been in a long time. And the fun thing is that you can actually see it happen. If you watch my Smushy Come Home video, there's like a weird cut in the middle of it, and that's because while recording it, I started to feel like I was already ill. I knew I had like a cold or something, but while I was recording it, I started feeling like I was going to be sick. So I paused the video and left. I got to the bathroom, and you know, like before you're sick, you get like really hot. I got really hot. I was never sick, but I just kept getting hotter and hotter. It got to the point where I couldn't move. I was like so hot, I couldn't do anything. I was rolling on the floor and like barely conscious of what was going on. The only way I could move was to like fling my body parts across the room. Couldn't even crawl. And I managed to drag myself into the shower and turn the shower on cold to cool me down. And then about 20 minutes later I woke up and it turns out that I just passed out. I just got so hot that I lost consciousness. And like I legitimately felt like I was going to die. And then about 10 minutes later I was fine. Came back and finished recording the video. So there's like a weird cut in that video. And it's where I cut out the 20 minutes where I was just unconscious, and then just finished off the video and carried on with my day, because I felt pretty much fine afterwards. It was just really weird. The point is that I already knew I had a cold or something, and that was just it turning out to be a hell of a lot more serious. I was like pretty much useless the entire last week. Basically until Christmas Eve, I could barely do anything. I was so tired all the time. I was doing things for about 2 or 3 hours a day, and then I just felt like I was going to collapse. So because of that, I just didn't have the time to make my Forge Fiend. I had also bought myself an airbrush, like a compressor and an airbrush kit, so I wanted to know how to use it, so I figured I'd just do that for my video. I originally bought it so that I could use it to paint the Forge Fiend, but I still wanted to know how to use it anyway, so I just set it up and painted a few Necrons. It was a pretty quick turnaround on the video, in that I started recording it at I think about 2 o'clock, maybe 1 o'clock, 1 or 2 o'clock on the Saturday, and then I think about 10 o'clock at night finished working on it. I had recorded the footage and then edited it and then got the music for it, recorded my voiceover and then edited that voiceover and then re-edited the entire video to fit the voiceover. I spent 8 or 9 hours working on this video that ended up being 6 minutes long. I managed to get it done, and it was quite nice learning how to use my airbrush. I'm going to be a lot more confident with that. I think I'm just like generally more confident in painting, so maybe I'll paint some more of my models, because at the moment I've just been building them but never painting them. The next Warhammer video I make will be building that Forge Fiend, but I have no idea when that's going to be at the moment. It'll be sometime in the future. I've got other Warhammer stuff, but I tend to just build the small models myself, and I save the big models for a video, like with the Helldrake and now with the Forge Fiend, and I mean I could just build all the kits for videos, couldn't I? But I don't know. I feel like then I'd pretty much just be doing Warhammer stuff. I got some more models for Christmas, and my wife got some models for Christmas, and I tend to build the models, so I would end up building those as well, and it's just, I don't want to make every single video just being that, but maybe people would like that, but I like to do other things as well. So I mentioned that I got some new Warhammer models, and my wife got some new Warhammer models, and we got those because it was Christmas. I'm actually recording this on Boxing Day, and it's like the most depressing time of the year is the week after Christmas. Christmas is both of our like favourite time of year, and it's all the stuff leading up to Christmas, and then Christmas Day hits, and it gets so depressing. The second we both sit down for the meal, we're like, oh yeah, Christmas is over now, basically. The meal's like important, but it's not either of our favourite thing. I realise it sounds like kind of spoiled, saying that our favourite bit is getting the gifts and stuff, and it's not a matter of that. It's just a matter of neither of us are particularly big on like Christmas food, so we don't exactly look forward to that. But the second it happens, it's just this reminder that Christmas is about to finish. And then we both just get really upset. It's just this like downhill period until the 7th of January, because that's when we take the Christmas decorations down. And that's like the worst it gets. And then after that, it's just looking forward to next Christmas again. Like everything in between, obviously, but next Christmas again. And also it's even worse because next year's a leap year, so there's an entire extra day to wait. It doesn't help that this year, we didn't even get the decorations up until, when was it? I think we've had the decorations up a week, because most of our decorations go up in our like kitchen, which is also the conservatory, because we live in like an apartment thing that I've explained before. So most of our decorations go up in there just because we don't have any room in the other rooms we've got. But because I've got all my tools in there, and because I was making Christmas presents for people, we couldn't put the decorations up because they just get covered in dust. So we had to wait until I'd finished making stuff to do that. And it took me a lot longer to finish making stuff than I wanted it to. And then my wife got ill. Just everything kept happening, and it meant that we didn't even manage to get the Christmas decorations done until not even a week before Christmas. It was like 6 days before Christmas we got the decorations up. Bear in mind, my wife and I are usually the sort of people who put Christmas decorations up on like the 6th of November. We would put them up earlier, but I like to wait until after bonfire night. My wife would put them up the day after Halloween, but I wait a couple of extra days just because bonfire night and then it's Christmas. As for what we both got stuff from my wife's parents. Most of my stuff comes from my wife's parents, but that's more just because my wife is not very good at choosing things. Honestly, neither are they. But between them, I usually get something. Whereas I went out and got most of my wife's stuff this year. Or at least the stuff that I think was good. Maybe that's just biased because I chose them, but she seemed to like them in the end. So as for what I got for my wife, we got a copy of Boop, which is a board game about cats on a mattress. We've not played it yet, but essentially you're like trying to bounce cats off a mattress. It literally comes with like a piece of a mattress. It's weird, but we also got, it's not just Boop, it's Boop, because it's the Halloween version, so it's got like ghost cats. And then I got her some Lego that she kind of wanted and kind of didn't want. It's complicated. Every time I talked to her about it, she changed her mind, but I got it for her in the end. And then we got into the Warhammer, which I've mentioned recently, and I told her already that I got her some stuff. But she finally chose a group that she actually liked. So I got her the Adeptus Sororitas Combat Patrol. So that's like a full army now. Because she used to just buy like single models she liked, and that was fine, but it meant that I would buy small sets of stuff. I bought the Chaos Space Marines Legionnaires, and my wife would buy a single model. And I mean, like, that's what she wanted, so it was fine, but it just always felt a bit uneven. Or like, I would buy my Helldrake, and she would also just buy another single model of just like a guy, just because she could never like choose an entire thing she liked. But then she finally decided she liked the Sisters of Battle, so I got her that entire set, which I will probably end up building, but she's going to paint them, and then it gives her less of an excuse to not play, which I say as if I actively push to play, but I don't really care that much either. As for what I got the Europe edition of Ticket to Ride. I've mentioned in another podcast that we had the New York version, but this is like a full copy of the game, as opposed to that, which you play a lot quicker. And then I got mostly a lot of chocolate. Oh, and she got me a picture, an Assassin's Creed picture. It's nice that she got it, but it's a really old picture. It only covers up to Syndicate, doesn't go any further than that, so it's from like 2018 or something. You'd think they'd have more up-to-date pictures by now, but no, that's still the most recent thing they were selling. And then the big thing that I got this year was a bandsaw, so that's going to open up some more possibilities for making stuff. It's not like a full bandsaw, it's not like a big stood-up one if you've seen one of those before. It is like a big stood-up thing, but it's a desktop bandsaw. It's like half the size of a big bandsaw, and thus has less capacity to like cut things, but it should do everything I want it to, at least. That's going to mean I can make a lot more stuff, and more specifically a lot more made from what I've already got. My boxes don't have to be like 5 centimeters thick every wall, because I can cut them down like half that size, which would just be nice. It'll just give me a lot more space to work in, or rather a lot more material to work with. I say that like I'm running out, but I've made 2 boxes that I've made videos on for the channel. I also made another box, which is like a shadow box, like picture frame thing. That was a birthday present for my father-in-law. And then they were originally supposed to be chopping boards, but I'm not happy enough with the finish to say that they're chopping boards. I don't trust them enough cleaning them. I was sanding them and stuff, but I couldn't get them completely smooth without like divots and stuff in the wood. So we're using them instead as, you know when like you take something out of the oven and you want somewhere to put it down? It's a place where you put hot stuff down. I feel a lot more comfortable with that. It's not even a matter of like I wouldn't feel comfortable eating off it. I would feel comfortable eating food that had been on it. The issue is that I don't feel like it would be perfectly clean afterwards, after washing it. So it would become progressively less safe to use for those purposes. It is also quite a soft wood. It felt alright, but it ended up feeling quite soft. So I feel like when you're cutting stuff, your knife would end up actually chopping into the wood after a bit. One thing I did like about making those is that I made my own finish for them as well, and it really brought out the wood a lot. Using the finish, it always brings out the grain in the wood a lot. But the wood ended up like a lot redder. Like it's got some really nice red tones to it that I just wasn't expecting. Like, they look really nice. I've not actually, like, unboxed it yet, because it is also very big. So, I need some space to put it. I'm going to use that in a few projects that I've got planned for the future. I'm going to make that for a video, and that'll be, like, maybe March or April, possibly even later than that, to be honest. I'm going to use it a little bit first outside of a video, just to get used to using it, and then use it for what I'm planning. I'm just going to stick this on at the end, because I've just realised I didn't actually mention it. I got a set of raptors. I mentioned I got Warhammer models. The Warhammer models I got with a set of the raptors, because I just like that they jump around. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to build them, because you can build them with, like, guns and swords, or you can build them with warp talons, and I just like how the warp talons look more, but I don't know if I would want an entire squad like that, so I might, like, mix and match a few with warp talons and a few with weapons and stuff, but I've not properly made a decision on that yet. I'll probably make those on my own. Those won't be a video. That'll just be something I make when I feel like it. For the game update this month, there is no update. That's it. I'm probably just going to stop recording these sections eventually. Probably won't have one in the next episode. I'll mention it whenever something specific happens. The only thing that's going on at the moment is the sale's on again until the 2nd, just because it's the Steam winter sale, so it's in that. But yeah, I didn't do anything on it this month. I might change these from being a game update section to being a game development section overall for, like, anything I'll work on, rather than just specifically this. I've not actually made that decision yet. We'll see what I'll do next month. There's a lot of changes coming to making videos for me. As of today, I've finally finished re-releasing all of my old sentences. That means that all that's coming out in my sentence channels right now is 3 impressions a week and 1 sentence, which is fine, but I would like to have 1 video a day for TikTok and YouTube. Instagram already does at the moment, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So what I'm going to do instead is an idea that I mentioned, I think, in last month's podcast, where I'm going to do my normal impressions, 3 of those a week. I'm going to do my sentence, 1 a week. And then the other 3 days, I'm going to do impressions of games I've already played. Every game I've played on the channel up to now, I say the channel as if it's 1 channel and not 4, but you know what I mean. Every game I've played on the channel up until, was it March when I started doing the impressions? Sometime around there. Will get an impression, and it will go up on the days when an LP episode comes out. The only exception is that for those things, I won't be doing an impression for a game that's already got a sentence, because now it feels a bit redundant. If a new game comes out and I do an impression and then beat it, I'll do a sentence, because that's how it usually works. But I'm not going to do an impression for a game that I've already done a sentence for, because that seems pointless now. One thing I've done to go along with that is I've started another Steam group. In case people weren't aware I have a Steam group, the group is just there. There's a couple of people in it. They're just people I know. Then again, I say that, but nobody listens to these but people I know. There's people in that group already, and that was mostly to get the curator page for me to post my sentences on. I've started a new group with a new curator page for all of my impressions, so now all of my impressions will go up there as well. I haven't started to right now, but by the time this comes out, I will have started posting all of my old impressions up there as well, so those will just slowly get added on, because I've already got over 100 of them to do, so that's just going to take some time to do one for every single one of those. Because I'm now doing more stuff like that, one other thing that's going to change, that I don't think anyone even noticed, is with my tweets, I write like a sentence about the game, and then in my impressions, I write a sentence about the game, and in my description, I write a sentence about the game, and like they're all different sentences. My impressions are like what I think about the game, and then the other 2 are like little quips about the game. When we're getting rid of one of those, and I don't know which one it looks like I'm getting rid of, the impressions will stay, obviously, because that's the fucking video. But the description and Twitter ones are just going to be the same sentence. One of the reasons for that is because I need another sentence for the impressions curator page, and that's just a bit easier. I don't even know if I'm going to do this, to be honest. I'm saying all this, but it's one of those things where it's like writing 4 sentences about a game doesn't sound like a lot. But the amount of times I will just sit there for like half an hour at a time, just trying to come up with some funny quip about the game, just for like a tweet no one sees. Like, sometimes it works out. Like, there's times when like I've got criticisms about the game, but I don't necessarily want to be mean about the game like in the tweet. So I'll make like a little joke in the tweet and then put a slightly meaner comment in the description. Especially when I have problems with a game. Not problems like, oh, this game's bad, but problems where like the game crashes. I might just put in the description for the game, this game crashed on me, that's why the video's bad. Something like that. So like maybe I'll keep doing that, but I don't know, some of it might stay the same, some of it might change. Something is happening to those. The other thing that's changing Oh, actually, no, sorry, I'll finish talking about the sentences and impressions first. What this means is, right now, YouTube gets 4 videos a week, and TikTok gets 4 videos a week, and Instagram gets a video every day. From the 1st of January onwards, YouTube and TikTok will be getting 7 videos a week, like 1 every day, and Instagram will be getting 14 videos a week, because I'm just going to post the new videos in the evening when they would normally come out, and in the morning, I'll post the re-uploads and stuff, just to speed through and get them done, because I have got like 100 of them still to post, something like that. I want to get them done, and I don't want to change my entire schedule for everything else just to wait for Instagram to catch up. Until those are done, Instagram's going to get 2 videos a day, but it's all content that's already been on my TikTok and YouTube, so you're not missing out on anything. So the next big change is I'm no longer going to be doing 2 LPs at a time. I'm getting rid of the weekend LPs, which does mean that it's going to be just Monster Hunter for a while. I just really want to get Monster Hunter done. That's like the big reason. The other reason is that Monster Hunter being the weekend LP was actually supposed to be a short-term thing, and it has now gone on for nearly 3 years. It will literally be 3 years in March, I think. Rise came out in 2021, didn't it? I will have literally done at least 2 episodes a week of Monster Hunter for 3 years straight. It's not like I dislike the game, I just please want to finish it. I'm going to be doing that until it's finished, and then other videos on other days. Oh, I've actually just realised I've messed something up. I just forgot about it. My sentences. I've said that they're staying the same, but they're not. You'll still be getting the same videos, but they're moving from Sundays to Fridays. I just forgot to say that, because that ties in with this right now, where the LP episodes and half-hour episodes are changing times as well. Also, my streams are staying the same, but all of this ties into one another. My sentences are moving to Fridays. The reason that my sentences are moving to Fridays is because one of my half hours is moving from Friday to Saturday now, which also means that my LP episode is also moving from Saturday to Sunday. The way it's going to work, I'll have this written down somewhere as well if you're a patron especially, because like that's part of your perks, but also for everyone else it'll be very clear following the first week. The way it's going to work is, I've got this written down for me, so I'll just read it off. Monday is a half hour and an impression. Tuesday is an LP and a retro impression. Wednesday's a half hour and an impression. Thursday's a LP and retro impression. Friday is a stream and my sentence and my monthly videos, so my main channel video or the podcast. Then Saturday will be the 3rd half hour of the week and the 3rd impression, and Sunday is the 3rd LP episode of the week and the 3rd retro impression. This is literally just because I want to move stuff, like I've said, and I just think this works best. It's just this is the way it'll fit best, basically. The only thing that's a little bit different is if on a Friday I'm not streaming, then there'll be an extra LP episode that day. That's all. But yeah, I think this works out as getting 2 less videos a week, but it shouldn't change that much, really, but it just is better for me. I think it also gives me space for better content. I like making the impressions, and it gives me time to make more impressions on different stuff. As for stream, seeing as I've mentioned it, that will be coming back on the 12th of January now. I was going to leave it a little bit longer, but the Heaven's Turn event will end on the 15th, which is before my stream would come back. My monthly videos are moving to Friday, like I've already said, and the other thing that's changing with those is that I've been putting in my banner when they're going to come out, but then I keep missing that, so I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to keep an internal deadline for me, but rather than publishing a deadline that everyone can see and then missing it, not going to say it, because the issue is that, I'm putting these things up, people can see them, and then I feel bad if I miss it because people might be expecting it, but I wouldn't want to hit it anyway, because if it's late, that means the video wasn't good enough, so it just makes more sense to not post it if it's bad. The only thing I will be posting the deadline for is the podcast, because that changes very rarely, because that would actually mean bringing it forward, not pushing it back, because pushing it back is impossible. Is there anything else changing for the channel? I think that's it. So I'm just going to go over this one last time, because I want it to be clear, and I feel like I've not done that so far. Monday, half hour and impressions. Tuesday, LP and retro impressions. Wednesday, half hour and impressions. Thursday, LP and retro impressions. Friday is a stream, sentence, and either of my monthly videos, my podcast on main channel video, whenever that's applicable. Saturday, half hour and impressions. And Sunday, LP and retro impressions. There you go. Those are your videos for the week. Plus the re-releases. But yeah, I think that's it. I'm cutting back on some content, but I'm making more of other content. But I feel like it leaves everything better overall, and should hopefully also give me more time to work on other stuff as well. I just quite like making stuff at the moment, like with the woodworking, so it'll give me more time to work on that. And I do want to make another game next year. It'll give me time to work on that as well. Hopefully, people like this. Special thanks to all of my patrons. You can join them over at patreon.com/Holden Gatsby, and for $1 a month you'll get to see what I'm working on early and get exclusive roles in my Discord, along with other rewards I might think of. You can also just follow me there if you want to for free, as it's probably the best place to see all of my content as soon as it's available. There's links to the Patreon along with my Discord, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, and all the other podcast platforms in the description for this episode. Finally, don't forget you can email me using podencastby@gmail.com if you've got anything you want to say. Thanks for sticking around. Bye. Special thanks to my patrons, Justin Wood, Hobbs, and Koopy Vegeta. You can join my patrons at patreon.com/Holden Gatsby, check out my TikTok and Twitter @Holden Gatsby, and follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Holden Gatsby. Don't forget to subscribe to all of my channels. If you want more, you can watch my last video now, but if not, then thanks for sticking around. Bye.